So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting stuck in to the topics today. November has been a super interesting month, even though what's kind of a little bit more normal, at least for the team on this side of the world, is that the closer that we get to the end of the year, the things kind of ramp down. But we haven't really seen that too much in the month of November, so that's really cool. So even though it's really rainy and gray here where I am, at least we're going to be talking about some really cool things. So so yeah, I think we can get things going, and people can join as they join. Again, as always, this will be recorded. So just for the people who this might be their first community call, what we're going to do is we're going to start off by looking at the monthly updates for Komiser. Then we'll look at what's been going on in the Tailwarden ecosystem. And then after that, we're going to be talking about what's to come, what we're excited about in December, what things you can get more heavily involved with if it's something that you're looking to do to engage more with the community. So we'll go through those three steps. So let's start off with what's been going on the Komiser side. Just also a reminder, if at any point you want to know what's new product tool wise, head on over to the changelog at tailwarden.com/changelog, and you can see what's been going on. As you can see here in November, we have two new releases, one for Komiser with the stable version being 3.1.15, and we also have a new version of Tailwarden with 2.0.18. So let's have a quick look and see what's going on here for Komiser. So one of the things that, well, actually, before we talk about what's actually been shipped, let's talk about an interesting and kind of crucial development that's going to greatly affect the future of Komiser. So ever since Komiser has been around, and especially in the last few months, the topic of cost insights has been a very kind of crucial and heavily talked about topic inside of our community. Now, why? Because Komiser integrates with a bunch of different cloud providers, and each individual cloud provider calculates cost a little bit differently. Some and they expose their cost metrics in different ways. Some cloud providers, such as DigitalOcean and Civil, make exposing and consuming, aggregating cost metrics very easy. Whereas we see with the other more consolidated, the bigger cloud providers, it's a much more difficult task. So when we talk about AWS, Azure, GCP, the cost calculation and fetching the cost metrics and showing them in a reliable, consistent, and granular way inside of Komiser is a very, very difficult task. So what we found is that for these big three, at least for now, for the big three cloud providers, we're going to have to take alternative approaches, and we're not going to be able to offer cost at the resource level. Now, what does that mean going forward? So up until now, what we've been trying to do, and let's have a quick look over here. I don't know if Komiser is still running. Okay, it's not running. Let me just, sorry if you don't mind, I'm just going to run Komiser again. Yeah, so I'm just going to run Komiser start. Cool, so I'm just going to restart this. So as you can see here, we have a bunch of different AWS resources. What we're doing now for all of the resource, or at least for a large subset of the resources that do incur cost, if you were to head on over now to the Komiser repository and go to the file where the code for fetching each particular service is, you'll find some logic that tries to manually calculate the cost and then applying the public cost tables to the usage. But of course, this is a very manual process, and we found that it's just very, very difficult sometimes to know exactly what usage is being applied. We don't always know the actual credits that a user might have. So long story short, it's a very manual process that leads to very inconsistent cost metrics. So in a roundabout way, what are we going to be doing moving forward? Through the conversations with the community, we've decided that for AWS at least, we will be talking about Azure and GCP in the coming weeks and months. But for AWS at least, we're going to now integrate with the Cost Explorer API, and we're going to offer cost metrics at the service level. So what does this mean? We're not going to know exactly how much EC2 instance A costs, but we will know how much all of the EC2 instances in all of your accounts cost combined. Where would this show up at the moment? This would show up down here. So if we have a look at, for example, this month, we can see that we're looking at the cloud providers, but let's just filter by service. So now we're going to have, thanks to the Cost Explorer API, a much more trustworthy and much more accurate calculation of how much each one of those managed services cost. Now, this is what we want to be able to deliver and be sure that we're delivering correctly, we're delivering consistently. If having if having cost calculation at the resource level is very, very important for you, and you really need to know exactly how much a certain resource costs in your of all of your AWS resources, we're going to have to recommend you to go over and open up an account on Tailwarden, which does offer this level of granularity. But if at AWS, but if that's not something that you definitely need at the moment, then Komiser will work for you. And by the way, also just so you know, this is the new way that we're going to approach it for these three big cloud providers. But where possible, we're always going to try our best to offer the resource level cost. So say, for example, as I mentioned earlier, Civo, it's quite easy to calculate. So we're going to offer the resource level for Civo, but for the others, it's a little bit more difficult. So that's why we're taking these alternative approaches. So I'm really happy that we've decided on this now, because this has now opened up the floodgates of what this will mean for the upcoming features and how this will affect Komiser. Azan has already started working on this, and he's this week he's shipped the first kind of proof of concept, starting with the Lambda functions, and subsequently we're going to ship the Cost Explorer API integration for the rest of the managed services, and hopefully next week we'll have some work done on the front end so we can actually see it come up. So sorry for taking a little bit more time here, but this has been a very crucial conversation that we've been having over the last few months. We understand that for a lot of Komiser users, cost has been a frustrating topic, because when you connect your account and to a new tool and you expect to see the correct, and you can already see the correct metrics when it comes to the resources, but it just has never been the consistent same experience when it came to cost. So we want to rectify that and get it done right at the service level for at least the AWS resources. Okay, having said that, let's move on to what actually was shipped. So one of the things, and big thanks to Azan also, is that now we have restored the integration with OVH Cloud. And OVH Cloud, if you aren't based in Europe, maybe you haven't really heard of it. It's one of the smaller cloud providers in Europe. It's a French cloud provider, but we have seen some Komiser users request it, and it used to be supported by Komiser in the past, and now we've added the support again because we see the need for it. If you want to know how to get this set up, you can head on over to the documentation, which I have right here, and you'll be able to get your quick start. Sorry, it looks like we still don't have it here in the documentation, but if you need the tips, you can head on over to the YouTube channel where I show you right here how to get started, how to set up your OVH integration. So thanks a million to Azan for doing this and restoring OVH, and hopefully the Komiser users will get a lot of value from seeing the resources in Komiser. Great, so moving on, heading over to the resource, the Explorer tab, we have the resource dependency graph. In November, we also added support for Civo, so now the Civo resources can be visualized in the resource dependency graph, and yeah, you can just scroll in a little bit more, zero in on the resources, click on the fold out, get a little bit more detail into them. You can tag them from the resource dependency graph. We're very excited, linking to what I was mentioning before about the cost improvements. We're very excited in the coming weeks and months to ship those those cost metrics that we managed to fetch from the cloud provider, to also ship them and expose them inside the resource dependency graph, so we can offer insights into which resources are connected to which and if they're incurring cost or not. This is going to enable us to very quickly see, for example, islands of resources that are potentially incurring cost that are not being used, and therefore being great candidates to look a little bit deeper and to ask yourself questions like, do I need these resources in my cloud environment or not? Cool. So we're very happy. Big thanks to Avanesh for working on this to get Civo supported in the resource dependency graph. Cool. So apart from this, also in the Komiser ecosystem, Ali has been working on what we provisionally call the Komiser Hall of Fame. As all of you know here, Komiser is an open source project, and we get a lot of value from the open source contributors that help contribute and add value to the community through code and non-code contributions. So we wanted a way to be able to give back, to kind of reflect the appreciation, and for that to be something kind of standardized. So what we've came up with is a series of contribution related badges and a place to show those accolades, those badges, and also a place to show the profiles and to showcase the individuals that make up the community. So Ali, if you could show us a little bit what you've been working on with regards to the Hall of Fame, that would be great.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much, Jake. Hi, everyone. So let me just share my screen so I can show you what I've been working on. Okay, there we go. Oh, sorry, it's not what I wanted to share. I don't know why it's not showing up here. Okay, there we go. Okay. So starting off, I'd like to tell you that we've decided to introduce the badges on the contribute section of the docs. So if we scroll down on the documentation, the idea is that we'll introduce the badges that we currently have and how to earn them in a bit of a roundabout way. So it's not like very specific on like what's the criteria, but you get an idea of what you need to do to get these badges. So this will hopefully motivate the community to start earning them. And then we have the actual Hall of Fame, where we're going to highlight the community and, of course, be thankful for all the efforts that have been put into this project. We've decided to have a Contributor of the Month banner, so this will be updated every month with the Contributor of the Month that we usually highlight on YouTube. And then we'll have like the list of our contributors. listed down, and this will go on and on and on. This is for the demo purpose. I've only presented these. And the idea is that each of these contributors will have a profile page of their own that they can customize to some degree. So I'm going to open like a demo profile here. And yeah, basically through GitHub, you'll be able to add like your bio and some like social media links that are linked to your work so that we can also highlight that here. Hopefully, we can have the GitHub contribution map showing. I'm not sure if it's possible to Mintlify, but that's the goal. And then, of course, we'll have the badges showing up for like the badges that this person has earned through working on the project for Komiser. So yeah, let me know what you think, and I'm really excited for this and to be able to like show our appreciation for the community and have a place where we can see everyone.
Perfect, Ali. Thanks a million. The designs, as always, look amazing. Thanks a million for that. Just opening up, sharing the screen again. Yeah, we already had the first main page ready for last week, so there's a active open issue that's being worked on now to get the first proof of concept, the first kind of page of the Hall of Fame, and yeah, I think it's underway. I forget the name of the contributor who's working on it right now, but now that the profile page is also available, we'll open up an issue for that, and hopefully someone can start figuring out if it's going to be possible to have the contribution graph from GitHub showing up there. Of course, it might be a little bit difficult, but that would look absolutely so cool. So thanks a million for that. I think the contributors are really going to get a lot of value out of being able to customize their own profiles and share it with others. Great. So just moving on, events that happened in the Komiser space. Also, we have the Civo webinar that happened mid-November too. This is a webinar that I went to the Civo platform and talked about multi-cloud management with Sayam Pathak, CTO at Civo. So as you can see here, the webinar, you can rewatch it here, but in case you don't want to rewatch the full video, I just have a bit of a roundup here, a bit of a summary of what we spoke about. So if you want to check that out, please feel free to do so. We compare a few different open source tools that can help out with multi-cloud management, and we go a little bit deeper into how Komiser specifically could help. Cool, so that's more or less what is happening and what has been shipped, at least for Komiser. Let's just do a quick detour and check out Tailwarden for a second. So Tailwarden has the latest version that was shipped on the 9th of November, which is 2.0.18. So two of the main features that were shipped are the tailored notifications that can be applied to the custom view level. So I also have a video explaining that, which is on the Tailwarden YouTube channel. And the other feature is another type of notification that can be applied is a daily digest. This could be a cost daily digest or a tags audit digest. So these are notifications that, even though we call it the daily digest, you can choose it to be weekly. And this is just going to be an automated report sent to your email address, to your Slack channel of choice, if you'd like, giving you all of the information about the cost or the tags applied to that custom view. So and I also have a bit of content that's actually going to be published today talking about how to get value out of these daily digests. So stay tuned for that. It'll come out on the blog post a little bit later on today. I'll also share it on social media. Perfect. So those are the two main features that were shipped for Tailwarden in November. But I wanted to move on to talk about now is just what's coming in December, and hopefully we'll be able to hit the objectives the same way that we've been doing it up until now. So actually, just before talking about what will be going on in December, I just wanted to let everybody know, in case somebody doesn't know at the moment, we're super happy to have an official new team member. This is the one, the only, the legend. Oh, sorry, not Thomas. Zan. Sorry, I'm not sure if I had this earlier. I had Azan's profile here, but I don't know why this profile popped up. Anyway, Azan, who you can find on Discord as John Doe, is now officially part of the team as an open source developer. This means that he's going to be working even closer and even more focused alongside the maintainers and alongside myself to be able to just double down and deliver more features for Komiser, make sure that the features get prioritized in the right way and that we're best serving the Komiser users. Anyone who's worked with Azan probably up until now, you already know what caliber of a legend he is. Not only because he's very technically savvy and very and very on the ball, very smart, obviously, but he's an incredible open source community member also. So yeah, I'm just really excited to be able to collaborate more closely with Azan. So alongside Azan, we're going to be working on the following topics these next few months, but just to focus specifically on December. Just to name a few, one of the things that we're going to need help with, and we hope that we can get some help, is to make a big push to support the missing AWS, Azure, and GCP resources. So as you probably know, AWS has the most amount of support, but Azan this week has been putting together a list of the missing kind of the main chunk of managed services that AWS offers, just so we can try and get a really nice coverage of the majority of the important and most used managed services for AWS. Once that's done, we'll move on to GCP and Azure, because we want for even though it might be like a little bit not redundant, but it might be slightly boring work to go through and get all of these resources supported. But the sooner we do that, the sooner Komiser will be a much more complete tool for any use case of any cloud engineer that has their ecosystem, that has their infrastructure in any of these three cloud providers. So a big push to get all those services supported is what we're going to be doing, and Azan has just shared the extended AWS list of all of the services that we're going to be working on. So stay tuned if that's something that you want to work with. It's going to be kind of like an on hands on deck effort. I'm going to be also committing code and making sure the resources the services are supported. Cool. The second part is delivering on the Cost Explorer API integration that we spoke about at the very beginning. There's going to be a big push to support all of the AWS resources that incur cost, for them to be supported through this new integration. And next week, when Tailwarden CTO Mohammed comes back, he's going to prepare a PRD, which is a product kind of reference, in which he's going to show which ways and in which places in the front end, in the product itself, we're going to showcase these new cost metrics. So stay tuned for that PRD, because that PRD is going to then be broken down into different issues that any open source contributor can then pick up to support. So more full coverage of the Cost Explorer integration. Apart from that, once all of those AWS services are supported, then the next step is to support them inside the resource dependency graph. So as we know, the resource dependency graph needs to be edited, or like each service needs to be edited to show up in the resource dependency graph. So to make sure those nodes show up of all of those additional services that we're going to add, that's going to be something that we're also going to do in December. Apart from that, we're also going to be looking a little bit more closely at the preparation that needs to take place for Komiser's first participation in GSOC. That's Google Summer of Code. This is going to be the first time that Komiser is going to try to apply to participate and have a few features ready to be able to then welcome contributors on, and for them to reach their GSOC goals through the Komiser project. So a lot of preparation and a lot of seeing what needs to be done is going to take place in December. If anyone has any GSOC experience and would like to help out, always feel free to reach out. We'll be happy to take you up on your help. Last thing is we're just going to get the content contribution guidelines and process in front of people. So because what I've been working on specifically this week has been the following. If anyone is interested in creating content as opposed to only contributing code, both are available. And if you only want to do code contribution, that's fine. But there might be open source contributors that only want to contribute content, and that's also fine too. So here I've laid out a bit of a kind of like unified process for people who would like to do so. And I'm just going to ask for some reviews internally before sharing this publicly. But yeah, so the main difference here is that if you want to contribute videos, there's one set of guidelines, and if you want to contribute blog posts, there's another set of guidelines. So all of this information will be readily available soon. The idea is to make it as easy as possible. If you're a contributor and you want to contribute any type of value to the community, the information on how to do that has to be as clear as possible. We already have contributor guidelines for code, so it only makes sense for us to have contributor guidelines for non-code also contributions. So that's going to be available very, very soon. So cool. So apart from that, the only thing that I would like to say is that please go ahead and head over to the open issues. There's been a few that's been opened up in the last few weeks that we're always looking for help on. If you're looking to help us out with this, which is content creation, head on over to the Komiser content plan. There's been a revamp here. We've touched on different, we've created new tickets here, new cards with different ideas of content that we would like to be worked on. And also, if you have any ideas on content that you would like to work on that might benefit Komiser, feel free to reach out to us through Discord, and we'll try to add them here to the content plan. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the community call for the topic that I had ready for November. Thanks a million to everyone for joining. If there's anything that I missed, if there's anything that anyone would like to bring up, feel free to speak up now or write in the chat. But if not, we can leave it there. Thanks a million to everyone. Have a great rest of the day, and see you in the next community calls, the next events, or see you on Discord. Thanks a million. I see there's some people typing, but I'll see you all soon.